So how about that BLT? That thing was good. Tyler looked up and he was like, whoa, you punished that thing. Um, Hello, happy Monday. It's really nice to be home after my retreat and actually lots of travels. I'm here on Instagram, I'm here on YouTube to answer any questions that you guys might have. Good morning, happy Monday. So the fall retreat has been announced. I already have 13 people signed up, and I announced it only like 2 days ago. So if you're interested, definitely please email me. It's filling up quickly, as it should. We're going to have Kelly Hogan, Maria Emmerich, Ken Berry, Nisha Berry. We might have Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Lisa Wiedemann again, which would be amazing. Good morning. I just made your lemon pudding. Yeah, my lemon custard. Thank you. I'm praying about the October retreat. Would like to be there. I would love to have you. So that's Italian Gone Carnivore. So if you do come to the retreat, I would love to hear your honest opinion on my shrimp scampi, because I make a shrimp scampi and a garlic risotto on my retreats. I would love to hear some input from a true Italian. I also make like garlic bread. I just love like trying to get other cultures into an animal-based way of eating or the carnivore diet. Just makes it much more enjoyable, in my opinion. Good morning. Marilyn is with me on YouTube, as are 3 other people. So I'm here to just answer questions for you guys. And until someone asks a question, I will keep talking about the fall retreat because I'm super excited. So we're going to have Maria Emmerich, Kelly Hogan, Ken Berry, Nisha Berry, maybe Dr. Kiltz, maybe Lisa Wiedemann. Lisa was just so awesome to get to know at this spring retreat. She has always struck me as a very dominating personality in a good way, and I've always admired her for that, but I got to get to know her better as a person, and she's so awesome, so inspiring, even more inspiring in person. Dr. Kiltz is phenomenally kind and just an incredible soul. He is such an awesome person. So, really excited. What brand of collagen would you recommend? I've had some hair loss and want to see what will help. Using the one Maria E. recommends now. Okay, so the number one source of collagen is going to be from meat that has bones and connective tissue in it. So like shank and bone-in, any type of bone-in cut, any type of stew meat is the best source of collagen. Every time I cook Billy Doe meats, any type of slow cook cut, I end up with the most jiggly, gelatinous, amazing liquid gold broth. And that will heal and seal your gut. That will help your hair, your skin, your nails. If you're going to buy a collagen that's been processed and is a powder form, in my opinion, they're all pretty much the same thing because it's being processed. The best thing that you can do is literally get it straight from the source without all that stuff in between. If I had to recommend a brand, I would recommend Perfect Keto because they make really yummy collagens. Equip Foods, which is the company that I love, they make Prime Protein. They also make collagen. They have a chocolate collagen. Very, very, very good. I put that in yogurt. It's delicious. But then Perfect Keto also makes cinnamon toast, peanut butter, salted caramel, chocolate. So they have a bunch of different collagen powders. They also have something called Beauty Collagen, which has ashwagandha and some other adaptogens in it. And I use that for my hot cocoa. It's the drink that I make in the morning at my retreats, and everyone loves this stuff. So Perfect Keto would be my recommendation, and Equip Foods. My discount code is tailored for both of them. My Equip Foods discount code is only a one-time code, though. Awesome. I'm restarting keto. How do you track your macros? Do you use an app? I don't track anymore, but I did for a season. Tracking is a great tool. I don't think it's good for someone who is like stressed out about it or like has a problem with micromanaging. But what you measure, you can manage. What you measure, you can monitor. And so I tracked for a long season. That's how I track my macros. So I use MyFitnessPal when I track. and I won't go into like ratios and stuff like that. What kind of electrolytes do you take and how many do you drink? This is Redmond Relight, the pina colada flavor. I take 7 to 10 scoops every single day. I need a lot of sodium. I actually just posted my first YouTube short day before yesterday, and it was this clip where I was talking on a live and telling the story about when I chipped my tooth because I tried to drink less electrolytes. I was feeling self-conscious about, like, man, I really drink a lot of this. Maybe I don't need as much, so I didn't drink as much. I was in my sauna, so I'm naked, and I'm on a phone call, on a work call, talking with a client, someone overseas. I can't remember who it was, but I got really nauseous. And so I was like, I stepped out of my sauna, I somehow made it into the kitchen, and I'm like blacking out, and I had to tell them, I'm gonna have to call you back, and then I pass out. So I blacked out on my kitchen floor, I was naked, sweaty, chipped my tooth. Never again will I feel embarrassed about how much sodium I really require to function optimally. So first thing is I would recommend you actually look at how much you're already getting from your food, how much sodium. And then an electrolyte supplement is awesome because it has higher amounts of like potassium and even calcium, magnesium than just regular table salt or Redmond real salt. You could do just Redmond real salt. It has over 80 trace minerals, but I like the higher amount of potassium that Redmond Relight has. That is why I chose it over Element. That's the only reason why. So it tastes delicious. I make my hydration slushy, which I posted the recipe yesterday to my story. And so yeah, that's what I do. My discount code is tailored. I had great success last time losing 62 pounds. Wow. Congratulations. That must have felt awesome. Allie Miller has a great collagen. Man, I haven't heard her name in like 3 years. I'm sure she does. She has such, I really appreciated her content. I just kind of forgot. You're very welcome. Losing hair and a lot of it. I've been reading about low folate levels and mine are low. I'm also increasing my fat, just scared to gain weight. Any other ideas? Yes. My idea is to increase your protein. Guys, we need protein. Almost everyone is not eating, okay, I won't say almost everyone, but a lot of people here are not eating enough protein. And I know that there are situations where people are eating too much protein or they're eating more protein than they need. Yes, there are situations like that when someone is really metabolically inflexible and damaged and they're doing some like deep healing work. Higher fat and lower protein can have a place. But even for that individual, it's not sustainable. Low protein is not sustainable. 60 grams of protein per day is not sustainable. This is my opinion, so I'm sharing it publicly on here. There are people who are going to disagree with me, and that's fine, but I strongly disagree with them because I'm speaking to myself as someone who was all about all the ketones and all that stuff, and I was worried about spiking my blood sugar, and I had to put away my glucometer and just eat protein, and that is when I healed, literally. And then also, all of the people who have come to me now over the span, I've been doing coaching since 2020, and I've had a lot of people come to me from carnivore groups or carnivore coaches who told them to do this high-fat, low-protein approach, and they're sick. They're losing their hair, they lost their muscle, they don't have energy, and it's a scary thing. So my recommendation for you, if you're losing your hair, is please be accountable to your protein. Use a tracking app like MyFitnessPal and be sure that you're getting enough protein. The bare minimum amount of protein that we need to maintain our lean muscle, so in my opinion, the bottom number, is 0.8 times your lean body mass. So for me, that would be around 93 grams of protein per day. And I aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. So that's my personal recommendation. Something else you might consider if you're losing your hair, you need zinc and you need iodine for your thyroid. You also need selenium, so be sure that your thyroid is supported. 1, by eating enough, 2, by eating enough protein, and 3, by getting those 3 nutrients, zinc, selenium, and iodine. Those are my top recommendations. Does butter make us gaining weight? Butter and anything else that puts you in an energy surplus will make you gain weight. Weight gain happens when the energy in is more than the energy out, period. Now, fat actually might be less likely to make someone gain weight than carbs, even though it's more calories per gram. So fat has 9 calories per gram. Carbs and protein only have 4 calories per gram. But when someone's eating carbs all the time, their blood sugar is more likely going like this. And every time your blood sugar gets up here, your insulin kicks in, and then it starts to come down. And even though you just ate, you'll start feeling hungry again. But when you eat fat and protein and you cut out the carbs, your blood sugar goes like this. And so your appetite, it's level. You have generally less cravings. You don't have to eat as frequently. So this is why the ketogenic diet is very helpful for people to lose weight, but it's not the cure-all. Calories do matter. Energy in has to be less than energy out to burn your own body fat. If you don't take the electrolytes, what would happen? Well, I explained that I don't do well because I sweat in my sauna every morning and I do CrossFit every day. So I need to replenish my electrolytes. So for me, I literally blacked out. Now, for a lot of people, symptoms of like not using enough electrolytes or not hydrating enough, low sodium, low potassium, could be heart palpitations, fatigue, brain fog, nausea, leg cramps, all of those. And sodium is essential for your colon cells, so you could get constipated if you're not hydrated properly. And it's also really crucial for insulin sensitivity, so even if you're having like high blood sugars and you can't make sense of it, you could be dehydrated. Is that POTS when you passed out? No, not POTS. I was just dehydrated. Why do people suggest eating organs raw but are against raw meat? Good question. So I think that there are a lot of things that people are kind of stuck on that don't make sense, honestly. It might be that the organs are typically fresher than, say, muscle meat that may have been sitting out for a while. If people are eating the organs fresh, then it would make sense. But I feel the same way. Any type of protein is vulnerable to bacterial growth, no matter what it is. Fat is, it's okay to eat fat raw because fat in itself is a preservative. That's why I tell people you can leave it out on the counter. My husband and I have a stick of butter on the counter all the time to put on our cast irons. So I personally wouldn't suggest eating anything raw unless it's from a good source. So Billy Doe Meats and North Star Bison are the companies that I trust and am affiliated with and eat myself. And I can eat anything that they give me raw because I trust them and because I know how they process them. But if I got something from the grocery store, I don't eat it raw. Nothing from the standard grocery store because I don't know how it was handled. And that's my personal opinion. A lot of people choose to never eat raw, and that's your choice. I ate raw for about 2 years because I just craved raw meat. I would actually hide in my formal dining room from my family because this was when they already thought I had an eating disorder, so now I'm eating raw meat. But I definitely craved it, so there's something to raw meat. I know Lisa mentioned that she ate pretty raw meat. I would just really, really be sure that you're handling it properly. Is there magnesium in the Redmond Real Salt electrolytes? Yes. Does butter make us gain? Oh, I already answered that. Would you increase your electrolytes if you were doing a water fast? I would keep them the same. Excuse me. I probably wouldn't increase them. Actually, I kind of decrease them when I fast. Not really intentionally. It just always happens that way. Someday I would like to do a dry fast, and so I don't think that I need to increase them. I just take salt as I need, and when I'm doing an extended fast, I don't do the sweetened electrolytes. I just do regular salt or the unsweetened electrolytes if I have them. The protein amounts are so confusing. How do you determine how much protein? Okay, so I personally go by this. 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. This means that if you're overweight, you only want to feed your lean mass. You don't need to feed your fat mass. And it also means that if you're underweight, you need to feed your lean mass because you can't risk your lean mass, okay? We can't risk our muscle mass. So, like I said earlier, the bare minimum, research shows us that the bare minimum amount of protein we need to maintain our lean mass is 0.8 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. So, say I weigh 130 pounds and I'm 20% body fat. I'm going to multiply 130 times 20%. I'm going to subtract that number from 130, and then I have my lean mass. That number is the number that I have to eat times 0.8 every day to maintain my lean mass. It sounds confusing, but it's really not, and that's the formula that I have gone by since I healed and since it spoke truth into my life, and it's worked for all my clients. Now, older people, the older you get, it's interesting because we need more protein because our muscles, we become more sarcopenic as we get older. Everyone does. And so I think it becomes even more important to eat your protein every day. But like I mentioned earlier, if you are metabolically inflexible or dysfunctional, or you have a lot of insulin resistance, lower protein might be good for a season. And high fat is very healing, very good, very therapeutic for certain circumstances. But I personally don't think 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight is too much, especially considering that 40% of protein calories are burnt during thermogenesis. So this is just what I stand by. And then how do you determine how much fat? So these are great questions. I have multiple videos on this topic, by the way. Your fat to protein ratio, tracking macros. I have those 2 videos. They're exactly what you're asking. So if I figured out my protein, which for me is around 100, anywhere from 95 to 130 grams of protein, depending on how much I want. My fat, if I were where I was when I first started healing, I was doing a 4-to-1 fat to protein ratio. I was still combating non-epileptic seizures. So I really needed to gently bring myself out of that high ketosis that I was in because I didn't want to run into more issues. And so at that time, I made sure to eat literally 4 times the amount of fat in grams to protein that I was eating. But I didn't eat as much protein because I was smaller, and my goal weight was even less than I am now. As I continued to heal, I got my period back, reversed hypothyroidism, reversed over 10 autoimmune diseases, reversed Lyme disease. I was feeling stable. My period was normal. I pulled back on the extra fat. So this is last fall. I started a high protein experiment. It went fine. My blood sugars were stable. And then I just kind of transitioned started going to CrossFit more regularly. And I transitioned into leaner cuts like goat and veal and less of the added fat from like lamb, and intentionally adding fat. I just kind of cut that out because I didn't feel like I needed it. And then I lost some body fat and I got really lean. I had abs. My period stayed normal. I was, perfectly healthy. And then I got pregnant, had the miscarriage, and my body has been pretty much the same since then. Still feel very strong, but I'm not as lean as I was. So my fat really lowered when I got healthy. So what I'm trying to say is if you're still healing, if you know that your thyroid needs support, if you know that your hormones are not balanced, if you don't sleep at night, if you're running on adrenaline, if you're anxious, if you have skin issues, if you're healing your gut, if your blood sugars are not stable, you should at least be having a minimum, in my opinion, of 80 grams of fat per day. The bare minimum to absorb your vitamins is 30 grams per day, and that's like starvation. That's like so little. No one needs to do that. So it's hard for me to make a direct recommendation for you, Jennifer. If you want to reach out for coaching, this is what I do, is I get to look at the big picture. I look at not only your weight gain or weight loss goals, but I look at your hormones, your energy, your sleep, your mood, your productivity, everything, your mental focus, and I make recommendations based off of that. But I hope that helps. Dehydration is my main problem. I would definitely recommend electrolytes. Try my hydration slushie. I put that in my stories yesterday. Okay. Tried the high fat and low protein and maybe the cause of my hair loss. High protein now. So my suggestion would be, why don't you just try moderate fat and moderate protein? Just eat meat like bacon 1-to-1, ribeyes 1-to-1 fat to protein. That way you're getting enough fat to support your hormones, absorb your vitamins, and you're getting enough protein to support your hair, your bones, your muscles. You don't have to go extreme. You know, high protein doesn't have to be low fat. It's just higher protein. But I like to call it moderate protein because what I eat is not high protein. There are people eating 200, 300 grams of protein. That's high protein. Mine's higher compared to 60 per day, but 60 grams of protein is low protein. I'm eating moderate protein, and that's what I would recommend. Even bodybuilders don't need more protein than 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. So, and it's also expensive. Thoughts on how to treat H. pylori or staph on carnivore? So H. pylori I usually treat with oregano oil. Kind of depends on the situation, your gut, your hormones, a lot of other things. I would need to know you more before making more recommendations. What is the difference between being in ketosis and being fat adapted? Anyone can be in ketosis. Someone who eats carbs, 200 grams of carbs every day, can go into ketosis overnight. But that doesn't mean it's comfortable. It doesn't mean that they're going into ketosis in between meals. Fat adaptation, to me, means that your body is very comfortable burning fat for fuel. When you fall off a bike right after you learn how to ride a bike, it's kind of tricky getting back on. It's kind of scary. But after you've ridden your bike for years and years, it's really easy to get right back on. That's like fat adaptation. When you fall out of ketosis right after you did keto for the first time, this is the first time you ever did low carb, it might take a couple days to get back into ketosis. But when you're fat adapted, it's not difficult. You don't really go through that really difficult process, the keto flu. You've been fat adapted, your body remembers how to do it. That is what it means to me. Fasted 20 hours and blood sugar this morning was 93 and ketones were 0.6. What do you think about the sardine fast? I think the sardine fast is fun for people who like to mix things up. I really appreciated Lisa's explanation of it. She was explaining that when you're only eating sardines, you really get to know what true hunger is. You're not eating for entertainment. You know, you're not like, ooh, I get to reach for some sardines. Like, I love that. I practice fasting for practicing detachment, you know? I like appreciating life without food. And I imagine you would get the same benefits from a sardine fast. It sounds like a lot of people are getting into ketosis with it as well, so that's pretty cool. Sardines are full of nutrients, full of them. Lisa also made this a bisque. It was like a fish bisque, a seafood bisque at the retreat, and it was really yummy. She has that recipe on her on her Instagram, so check it out. Keto rash keeps coming and going every 2 weeks or so. Why is this happening? Sounds like you might be oxalate dumping. So that keto rash is oxalate dumping. If you ate a lot of vegetables in your past or you were vegan in your past, that's probably what's going on. So you might consider maybe incorporating around 50 milligrams of oxalate to offset some of those symptoms. But it will go away. It will go away. I actually had the keto rash for like 3 months after I got out of the eating disorder unit and I ate just a bunch of crap for a whole month. I had that rash for a while, but it will go away. Is it possible to recover after heavy laxative use? Yeah, of course. You definitely want to make sure your electrolytes are right. I would even go to the doctor for that to make sure your electrolytes are stable, and that's going to be the most important thing. Now, when you say heavy laxative use, I don't know if you're talking about stimulants like senna or if you're talking about magnesium citrate, because those are two different things. I don't know what heavy means either. Does it mean you did it once, or does it mean you've been doing it for years? if you've been abusing or even using laxatives for years and years, your body is going to remember that, just like playing the piano. It's muscle memory, so that might take some time. I'm hoping that it wasn't something like Senna. I'm hoping that it wasn't a stimulant, because that'll be should be pretty actually seamless to come back from. What is better, carnivore or keto? Depends on who the person is. What made you choose to try goat meat and lamb? Are they easier to digest? Never tried. Your recipes look delish. Thank you. So Billy Doe Meats is the company that I found, and they just extended a loving arm to me. They sent me a package of their meat to try before I bought anything, and it's non-aged. So I had really bad issues trying to go carnivore the first 8 times. I literally tried it 8 times, and I felt worse each time. And so I found this non-aged company. I just typed it in eatwild.com, put in my zip code looking for local farmers and butchers. And I was like, oh, they're non-aged. And so they have lamb, they have goat, veal. So lamb and goat and veal are smaller than a cow, so it's less histamine, but it's also non-aged, so it's super fresh, super low histamine. And I've never enjoyed lamb before I had Billy Doe Meats. It's not gamey tasting. And that is so important for a lot of people. I consider myself someone who actually enjoys gamey meat, but what I won't eat is lamb from the grocery store. It tastes so bad to me. It tastes like a dirty animal. It tastes really gamey and dirty, but Billy Doe Meats is phenomenal. It's absolutely incredible. So I would definitely check them out. My discount code is tailored. Should a person with MS and POTS favor fat with slightly less protein? It still depends on the person. I still would need to know so much more about you. Oh. I think. I don't know if she's still here. There she is! Hi!
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Here, check out what I'm going to do here.
Nice! That's exactly what I'm doing. Did you know that?
No,
Yeah, I have a yoga ball right here. Great minds think alike. So I was just talking about your seafood bisque, because someone was asking about the sardine fast.
Yeah, so, it's just to me, a palatable way. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know what I had wind noise. Yeah, to me, it was just a way for me to create a alternative of making a nutrient-packed, really, I know everybody at the retreat seemed to have loved it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a way of making them more palatable, because I'm not a big sardine fan.
Oh. Kind of pausing. Oh no. Whoa. I don't know if Lisa's still there. It just kind of paused. Man. There she is. There you are.
There I am. I don't know, maybe my connection out here isn't good, so I'm going to come inside. Yeah, it was because I had so much fantastic success on doing the sardine challenge for myself, and there were so many people that said, oh God, I cannot do it, I cannot handle
That would be me.
cannot handle that. And I was the same way, honestly. For like a year, I heard people talking about this the challenge and doing it. I was like, yeah, no, I'll just stick with my meat. And then when I finally pulled up my big girl panties and softened up buttercup, and I said, you know what? Let's just see if I can make it my own, where I then sizzled some butter in a pan, drained, and then dumped the sardines and kind of broke them up a bit. So now they just look like tuna salad instead of these fish, and put a little hot sauce on it, and that was the first step. That was
That sounds good.
Worked so well, and then I said, let me do the bisque and get more people on board. So that was really the creation of that seafood, what I call like the seafood bisque now, because I put cod liver in it too. It was delicious.
It was so good. And you could have added cream and it would have been
Yeah,
5-star.
I was trying to keep it dairy-free.
I know. I appreciate it.
So,
I always try to do that.
Yeah, I did. I tried to keep it dairy-free, and that way, because I always have people, oh, that's great, but I can't have dairy. So I was like, all right, let's just do this another way.
Yeah.
But,
Someone asked, is there somewhere where you tell how you make the sardines palatable? So Lisa right here is the one. Go check out her profile. She's the carnivore doctor.
Yeah, on my YouTube channel, I have a video from maybe 2 weeks ago called Sardine Challenge, and I actually cook and demonstrate the way that I do the sardine challenge, and then I have a YouTube short that shows that seafood bisque.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to make that.
Yeah, it was, and so yeah, I have my challenge group going now. This is the 4th and final week of the May challenge. So I have somebody who just wrote to me that said they're because I give people options. I said you can make this your own. You can do a protein challenge, a fat challenge, a bone broth challenge, a water fast challenge. Like, this is all about really not obsessing about things and not obsessing about numbers, but in learning something about how your body reacts.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, they're not able to really get themselves to commit to a 72-hour anything. Because
right.
You're just sitting home and other people are eating and then you just give in. But that's why I created the group, and it's just been great. People have been really having great success with it.
That's exciting.
So,
that's so
it's
cool.
Fun, yeah.
So are you thinking that you'll be at my fall retreat?
I'm going to be at your fall retreat.
For sure?
I'm going to make it happen.
Yes, I'm so excited. Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll have to make the bisque then. And we'll do dairy this time. So we're going to have the non-sweeteners, completely non-sweetener ladies there. Emily, do you know Emily Harvo?
Uh-huh.
And then we have Kelly Hogan.
And
Laurel, yeah. So we'll definitely have some heavy cream in the house for sure.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. Very cool.
We might as well make some. I know Tyler's a fan of cheese, so I'm gonna throw in some cheese recipes.
Oh yeah, we'll have cheese. We'll have dairy.
Fried cheese is gonna have to come out.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of cheese do you fry? Like just a halloumi?
Anything and everything. Rebekah, it's unbelievable. You can just put a slice of Boar's Head Swiss cheese literally in the pan.
Wow.
And you just leave it alone and leave it to the right amount of time and be patient. And all of a sudden, when you first freak out that it's just this gooey mess that you'll never get off the pan.
I know,
all of a sudden you lift the edge and flip it. This thing ends up like a cracker.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
So good.
So I have a question for you, Lisa. We kind of talked about macros on this live. Do you do high fat, lower protein? Do you do moderate protein? What feels best for you?
Yeah, so I have done all sorts of things, partly because of doing the coaching. I like to try to do things myself and see how it affects me, and then have other people try it who have been having either weight loss stalls or who haven't been feeling good and all that. So I actually do a combination on my, let's just call them regular eating days. I tend to make sure I get enough protein, and then I bump up the fat, and on my, maybe a couple days a week, I pull the fat low and keep my protein up, and I just pull the fat low. And I'm just going from my own experience. I postmenopausal, and just from I can't really figure out why some struggle so much to get down from a plateau weight, but for me, and I had the same problem. I was like, that proverbial, I just want to lose that last 10 pounds. I
Yeah.
want to get that washboard stomach. And so it's really more of the realization for me is that as much as I know Ben Bickman just said it in a recent video
With
that,
Kelly?
yeah, calories matter. They do.
Yep.
It's and like I don't like to use the term calories.
Right.
It's just energy.
Yeah.
The energy in has to be less than the energy out. So, because we know carb calories are totally different than
Yeah.
protein versus fat and all that. Ad nauseum, we all know all sorts of different things about how different foods affect our insulin and our metabolism differently. But ultimately, ultimately, we have to pay attention. And for me, I'm going to say I really feel a lot of it for me is emotional eating and, eating out of filling an emotional void
Yeah.
or stress or boredom or just outright entertainment or socially. And that's why, like, that Sardine Challenge really brought me into a very strong reality of what my true hunger is, and also about how actually little food can actually be extremely satiating, and how I can actually be very comfortable and be able to lose weight on a lot less food. So
Yeah.
somebody wrote in here, how about the high content of purines and sardines? So yeah, I mean, sardines does have an issue for some people with gout or uric acid issues, or people who have histamine intolerance. So yeah, there's that, but it's not so easy to go catch some fresh sardines. We don't live in Sardinia. We're not in a spot where we can go, get them fresh, or at least I haven't been able to. So yeah, then you're gonna there's alternatives. There's other highly nutritious things that you can substitute to think about this challenge. Where again, it's the sardine challenge partly also is instead of a water fast. As we can't call it a sardine fast because obviously once you're eating food, it's not a fast, but it's just the term and you get it. But when you're eating sardines, you're at least getting really good high quality omega-3s, you're getting really good high quality protein, you're getting selenium. There's so many benefits to it, but you can pick another food that you do well with that's really nutritious, and maybe mix salmon with some cod liver and a little butter, and now that's going to be your challenge, and you have a little bit of that each time you get hungry. And it's all really in that's part of why I really wanted to do the challenges, is to get people to kind of go outside their box, outside their comfort zone, and try different things, because if we keep doing the same thing, we're going to get the same results.
Yeah, well said. I feel like a sardine fast might be more challenging for me than just a dry fast, just because it'll continue to preach that message that my food is so much entertainment. Like this morning I made like a carnivore BLT, and
but the thing with the entertainment, I totally get that.
Yeah.
But sardines don't entertain me.
No, I'm to your point. I'm saying I can just dry fast and just say I'm practicing detachment. But if I were sitting there eating sardines and I don't like them, I don't like the taste, so it would just be like, it would just remind me even more. I really appreciated what you had to share about it. It makes total sense. I eat anchovies because sardines are too fishy tasting for me. That's how much I don't like them.
Yeah, well, so here's one of the things. Did you try my with this?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was still fishy to me, but it was very good.
Yeah, it kind of just tastes like the broth of a chowder.
Yes.
Like if you get in your head chowder. And then actually at the retreat, we also added in some clams and some oysters, just to kick it up a notch, and just to show that, you can make this, and you can put little baby shrimps in it, you can put scallops in it, you can put crab meat in it, and the base of it, though, was sardines.
Yeah.
And, ultimately, I just, in my mind, I've got to the point where when I'm preparing them, even doing it in my pan with just throwing the can in there and crushing them a bit, they really taste like tuna. They do.
Yeah.
If I get that in my head, it's just tuna.
Yeah.
It's another version of tuna. And then, drown it out with a little hot sauce. It's good too. And then just embrace the nutrition that you're getting as you're eating it, and embrace the fact that we're not going to binge on them. We are not binging on sardines. So
that's right.
Anybody who's got a past history of binging or overeating or just, eating too much because it's so good, that goes right out the window very quickly.
Yeah.
So,
totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't see any other questions.
Somebody said, my childhood was filled with opening sardine cans from great-grandma. The smell haunts me. Yeah, you know what? Make sure you get them in water, drain them quickly, rinse off the lid, and have the butter already sizzling in the pan so you get a little aroma of butter. Maybe even put in a little garlic and onion powder so you get some more of an aroma of that, and then dump them in there, and you'll get
crack me up.
Put a clothespin on your wrist now. And just keep thinking tuna, just like tuna salad. Just like tuna salad.
Yeah. Someone says sardines fried in tallow.
Yeah, and some people put them in the air fryer.
I don't know.
I know, I can't. I don't want to have a little crispy fish. It's just whatever. But everybody is kind of coming to this and figuring out their own way, which is awesome.
Yeah, someone on YouTube said just made a sardine omelet with 1 egg. I can see it in an omelet, maybe. Just maybe like 1 or 2 fish, not too much.
Maybe 5 eggs and 1 sardine.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone told me cod liver, like if you just take 1, 2, or 3 of these little cod livers that come in the can, and you kind of mash them and put it in with scrambled eggs, they said it's really good. It just imparts a really good flavor that I happen to really kind of enjoy the cod livers.
I like cod livers. Yeah.
So I really like it.
Yeah, so. I like to pop those in the freezer and eat them frozen with the oil. It's kind of like it's like a savory ice cream, or maybe like a pate. It's really good.
It has such a strange texture.
Yeah,
compared to
that's why I freeze it.
It's almost it almost is like a mousse or like whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, for anybody who's listening here who is thinking about coming out to one of these kind of retreats, they are just so awesome. And just picture yourself 24/7 immersed with just so much support and community and people who are excited about getting healthy and excited about eating fatty meat and sharing recipes. And then you finish the morning Q&A, and then it's like, some gather and some say, well, I'm going for a walk. We're doing the post-meal walk. So,
oh, yeah.
go out and we're going for our walk. And again, these walks are amazing. It's just the chitter-chatter that we have on the walk, and the friends that you make that will be long-standing friends. I have some that are now flying up to my July meetup here in New Jersey.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's just really, really great. So let's see, Starshine says, what's good cod liver brand? There's like 3 or 4. There's a Scandinavian, I'm just telling you, from Amazon, because I've never yet. Have you ever found them in a store?
No, I use one called iCan on Amazon.
Yeah, I've had that one, and now I just ordered this one. It's a darker blue can, a Scandinavian one. I have links to the cod livers in that sardine challenge video, so if anybody wants to check that. All right, Rebekah, I'm going to let you go.
Okay, thanks for being here.
Great to be here. Bye.
See you soon. Bye. Well, that was an awesome surprise, and I'm so, so excited for Lisa to join us at the fall retreat. Lisa's so awesome. All right, so I have some questions here on YouTube. Colonoscopy preps once every month for about a year. Okay. Colonoscopy preps probably means you're taking the Suprep that they're giving you. That stuff has some nasty ingredients, but it's not a stimulant, so you should recover from that. When I had 3 fecal transplants, and so for each one I had to do a colonoscopy, and I did colonoscopies even before that. They would give me the Suprep, that nasty drink, and I would call them and say, I'm not drinking this. I'm going to take magnesium oxide instead. And so that is an intestinal cleanser, but it's not a stimulant and it doesn't have any nasty chemicals. So if you ever have to do one again, that might be something to consider. You can message me and I can send you the one that I have used. Whew, excuse me. So, but yeah, you should recover from that. I wouldn't worry too much. Your body is so resilient. Do you know of keto carnivore friendly versions of Ensure or something similar? I am unable to digest solids at all. Doctors are trying to figure out what's wrong. Oh my goodness, yes. I was looking for a bag in here because I have bags everywhere. Equip Foods, EQUIP. They make a prime protein. This is pure beef isolate protein powder. It is sweetened with stevia, but it's literally 3 ingredients. It's beef protein isolate, cacao, and stevia. It's so delicious. You can mix it with ice and water. That would be my #1 recommendation because it is a complete protein, for sure. Someone says they gained weight on carnivore. So that can happen. I gained all the way up to 155 from 69 pounds in 2019. In 1 year, I gained 65 pounds. And I got all the way up to 155 at my highest. I didn't change anything, but it was just my body needed to heal, and that's where it had me. Just like this season, I'm heavier than I was last spring, for sure. But this is where my body has me. I feel good, I'm healthy, I sleep, I have energy, my skin is healthy, my digestion's good, so I'm not really too concerned about it. Sometimes your body wants to feel safe and it's going to gain a little fat for that. When it feels safe, it will drop its extra body fat if you're giving it the right foundation. What do you think of prenatal vitamins? How is a woman supposed to best prepare for pregnancy nutritionally? The RDA seem impossible to get from food alone, especially folate. So I definitely would recommend taking a folate supplement if you're trying to conceive or if you are pregnant. Folate itself is really important to decrease the risk of just development issues with your baby, with your unborn child. Folate, you can get them from eggs. I think like 6 eggs have 400 milligrams of folate and a good amount is 600 milligrams, so that's actually pretty close. My lemon custard is a great way to eat eggs. I ate 5 eggs from the custard this morning. And then as far as a prenatal vitamin, I would recommend liver. A small chunk of liver, this big, no bigger, every day. Frozen liver. Lamb and goat liver from Billy Doe Meats is very mild. It doesn't taste like beef liver, and when it's frozen, you don't even taste it. That is a multivitamin. So that's what I would say. It's also important to get your good fats in, so you'll want to get DHA fat, so brain is a good source of that. The sardines are a good source of that, so you definitely need that for, especially for your unborn child to have a healthy nervous system. The development of their nervous system greatly depends on the quality of the fats that you're consuming, so focus on those really high quality saturated animal fats, especially the DHA, EPA. Brain is a great source of DHA fat. Sardine smells up my kitchen, so how to do sardine soup. Please check out Lisa. I just had her on my Instagram. She's the carnivore doctor. Lisa Wiedemann. Her last name is Wiedeman. She's awesome. She made this bisque. You won't want to miss it. Sardines are hard for me to eat, and I ate this, and it was good. Someone says a sardine chaffle is really good. There you go. Okay. Just made the custard. Yummy. Yay! You know, I love that recipe because it's so easy. I was really surprised with how many likes that post got. I honestly thought people were going to think it like this is weird, but a lot of people messaged me and they're like, this is so good. It's so simple and so good. So, I'm glad. All right. Well, that was a nice 50-minute live with a special guest. Thank you for all your questions. Please email me if you're interested in the retreat. Lisa's going to be there. So excited. She's awesome. I just really, really appreciate her and everything that she does. She's a really cool person. Looking at flights for the retreat. So the closest airport is Knoxville. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right. Everyone have a good day. You're very welcome. Thank you.